The question, is there a correlation between intelligence and insomnia? You know that phrase, ignorance is bliss? There's a reason it's stuck around all these years. Because having the upper hand in intelligence might give you an advantage in some areas, like crossword puzzle solving and quantum physicsing, but it also might just screw up your life forever. Say goodnight to insomnia. Kate Nickel Medium. Recently, scientists discovered a quirky side effect to having a high IQ. You tend to stay up until later hours and get up later in the morning. That's right, the more intelligent are also much more likely to be night owls. Which isn't such a surprise when you consider that intelligent people are infamous for burning the midnight oil to cram for tests, write papers, touch up those earnings reports, etc. The direct cause might have less to do with the fact that you stay up than with some of the other things you're doing while your eyes get all nice and bloodshot. You see, people who tend to stay up late also tend to do other unhealthy things at night, such as overeating. Then, once they do eventually hit the hay, they experience more sleep interruptions when those pesky morning larks get up and start noising about. All this adds up to some nasty artery stress and whacked out circadian rhythms, a nice recipe for a massive coronary. So be sure to thank those dumbass early risers and your high intelligence for your inevitable heart attack. Another unfortunate stereotype of smart people is that they're socially awkward nerds who are doomed to lives of celibacy until they get out of high school hell. Unfortunately, that one turns out to be totally true. Smart boy, please. Those genes you're carrying aren't going any goddamn where. Unbeknownst to the smarties, their education levels and IQ are conspiring to keep them childless and perhaps leading them to adopt 30 cats when they're in their late 70s. It all starts with the smart ladies. A 2008 national census reported that women who had dropped out of high school had the most children on average. And the more education women achieved, the fewer children they were likely to have, with the fewest children being born to women who had finished graduate school. Of course, 9 out of 10 kids totally peaked, but the percentage of kids who lied about whether they peaked grew as the kids got older. At age 2, 25% of the kids lied about peaking, at age 3, half lied, and by age 4, 90% of the kids who peaked at the purple dinosaur refused to admit their guilt. That would also seem to imply that the 25% of kids who fibbed at age 2 possessed higher cognitive abilities than their peers. In other words, if you want to know whether your kid is gifted, simply track the specific age at which he starts trying to bullshit you. Speaking of which, we're sure that at some point, someone has told you that you can't get anywhere without an education, and for the most part, they're right. And you're much more likely to pursue that education if you're starting out with a high IQ. According to renowned intelligenceologists who painstakingly measured every goddamn thing that you can associate with IQ, test scores were the best single predictor of an individual's years of education.